And to that end, we've got two options available for you. You can either call us on the number that will soon be on your screen, or you can WhatsApp us on the number that you just saw. Let's take you through how the markets are doing towards the end of this year. And it's very range bound at this juncture. Taking cues from overseas, you had, of course, a poor close, if you can call it that, in the US over the course of Friday, and it was thin trading that you saw there. That seems to be the case in the Indian equity markets as well. We have hovered in a range, all negative at this juncture, but then we're inching towards Friday's close as we speak right now on the benchmark Nifty 50, 23,800 on the ticker right now. Mid-cap index up about 0.2% as we speak, and the small cap index down about 0.2% or thereabouts. So very tight, very narrow ranges, and I won't be surprised to see the volume picture similar to what you have seen in certain international markets. We are, of course, in the last couple of trading sessions of the year, and a lot of people on holiday. Perhaps you're watching from home as well. Let's take a look at a few stocks then. And actually, before we do that, let's take a look at the sectoral picture just to give you a sense of what is buzzing in trade today. Not too much to speak of. Of course, just about halfway or thereabouts in terms of the winners and the losers. But what stands out? You have right on top of the screen, you have the healthcare index that's doing reasonably well. You have pharma that's up and about in trade today. Among the losers, you have auto, which is down about 0.75% or so. And you have the IT index, which is losing about 0.25% or thereabouts. Quickly take a look at the contribution on the Nifty 50 just to give you a sense of what's moving the needle in trade today. And you have the likes of ICICI Bank, Adani Enterprises. Couple of interesting notes, by the way, on Adani Enterprises talking about a significant upside. You have Sun Pharma, which is up and about, and you have Axis Bank. Adani Ports also gaining ground. Among the losers, you have Infosys from the IT pack that is losing down. And you have Trent, Mahindra and Mahindra, Bajaj Auto, Maruti Suzuki. So more or less reflecting the sectoral picture that we just displayed to you, and that is reflective in the contributors of the Nifty 50 as well. New listings today, why don't we pull all three of them up? Carraro India is one, Synoris Pharma is the other, and you also have Ventive. Ventive and Synoris doing particularly well. We will soon have the management of Carraro India, which is not having the best listing. We're joined at the start by Saurabh Jain as well as Ajit Mishra. Gentlemen, thanks so much for taking the time, and as always, compliments of the season heading into the last couple of days. Very quickly, I'll come to you first, Ajit, just to give us a sense of how the markets are as you're looking at it on the charts. Volumes not too much to speak of.
Yeah, good morning, Alex, and season's greetings to you and all the viewers. So yes, the last week was a week of consolidation, wherein we saw that index continue to defend the long-term averages, 200 days of exponential moving average. And today also we are seeing a similar kind of a day, wherein after the initial downtick, we are seeing some rebound from that area. So in a way, it's time-wise, correction after this sharp decline, and 23,700 LX is the make or break area for the Nifty. So if we fail to hold this area, definitely we expect Nifty might make an attempt to retest the November month low close to around 23, 250, 260 zone. So as of now, bears are still under control comparatively, considering that the recent attempt of recovery towards 23,870 and 24,000 zone, we saw that the selling pressure emerged on every uptick. So positionally, the tone is negative. Intraday or for a day or two, it's sideways.
Okay, all right. So that's the perspective of the benchmark. I told you we'd get you the management of Carraro India. In fact, let's listen in to some of what they had to say. It's a muted debut for them on Dalal Street.
This is an offer for sale, and it's a very, very big milestone that Carraro India has reached in the last 3 decades. OFS is mainly because the promoters from Italy have invested a big amount in India in the last 25 years, and it's natural that they would expect some return from their investments in India. They've been very patient. They've had the perseverance to believe in the Indian story, and we are very happy that we have been growing together with the Indian economy. And the future for us looks very bright because we are in the sweet spot of agriculture and construction equipment vehicles in India. We are providing the technology that is required for the farm mechanization and better vehicle equipments for the construction industry in terms of safety, in terms of efficiency. This is what India needs. We need farm mechanization, farm efficiency for our food security. We need better vehicles which are scientifically designed to meet our construction equipment industry. And these two are booming in India. And we are very happy that we are in the sweet spot supporting the Indian industry with the technology that is required.
All right. So that gives you a little bit of perspective on what the company does. Incidentally, if you've got questions about that, if you bought into the IPO and you're seeing a bit of a loss on the screen, then if you want to know what to do, then you can call us or you can message us. We've got our first caller of the day. We've got Raj calling in from Hyderabad. Good morning, Raj. I certainly have heard your name. And how can we help you today?
Good morning, Alex. Wish you advance Happy New Year.
Thank you so much. Wish you the same.
Yeah. So I have Engineers India share.
Okay, Engineers India.
I bought it 221.
Okay.
And now I'm in loss only. So I just want to know whether I can hold or exit.
Yeah. So it's come off the 52-week high. Certainly, that was close to 290 levels. When did you buy this, Raj? Can you tell us?
6 months ago.
6 months ago, yeah. So it's not too, and it dropped pretty quickly after that. I think you must have been trying to catch the bottom. Was that the attempt that you had?
Yeah. So actually, I'm very much interested in this because they are into different domains. Consulting, they are into designing, they are into procurement.
So when you bought for the long term, Raj?
Yeah, I bought it for 1 year origin.
1 year or more, right?
Yeah, 1 year or more, correct.
Okay, so let me go across for the first time today to Saurabh, just to give you some perspective on Engineers India. 900 shares bought at levels of 221, slightly elevated considering that the share price has dropped quite precipitously from that point. What do you make of the company? Would you hold on, Saurabh?
Hi, good morning, Alex. Thank you for having me on the show. See, the company primarily gives services to the oil and gas sector. Now, what is happening in the sector with the oil prices dipping, and the outlook is that the demand for the oil will cool off. That is why we are seeing pressure in the oil prices. Now, what happens when the oil is in the pressure, oil prices are in the pressure, the activity usually cools down. For the company, it's like Engineers India, and that is why we are seeing pressure in the stock. And if you look at the numbers, the September quarter's number, there is a quite decent amount of pressure on both the revenue and the profitability front. The profits dropped from 100 crore to 76 crore, and there is a drop in the revenue of about 100 crores. So I expect this pressure to continue. I don't expect any kind of upside in the business or in the stock price. So my advice would be better to exit from the stock.
Better to exit is the view, Raj. Hopefully that helps you. Let's take the next question, and we've got one on a recent listing, International Gemological Institute of India, which has had a pretty decent run since listing. It's up about 19% from that point, or close to 20%. We've got a viewer who has not told us his name, so Ajay, who's bought 1,000 shares, and I do not know the buy price, but he's wondering whether to hold or exit at this point. Saurabh, any view on this? IGI, I found interestingly that it also looks at certification of lab grown, or it has a portion of its business that's oriented towards lab grown diamonds, which I think is all the rage right now.
Right, Alex. The company do not only do certification for the natural diamonds, but also on the lab-grown diamond side. Now, the case is there is a kind of a 10-12% growth in the, CAGR growth in the natural diamonds, and there is a significant amount of growth which is coming into the lab-grown diamonds space. While this space is small, but I think there is very much for the company to go in terms of business. So for the long term, I feel that it is a good company to hold on. This is the only one of its kind company which is listed on the bourses. So my sense is for the long term, it's a hold.
All right, so we've got the next question on SMS Pharma. I'm just trying to pull up the chart, and this is a question, in fact, from. All right, let me just try and pull this up. Okay, we've got Bharat who's asked this question. Okay, sorry, say that again. Sarat. All right. Yeah, so in case you were wondering, that was me trying to get my team to tell the viewer's name. When you're sending us a message, please tell us your name because it becomes easier for me to take those questions. And SMS Pharma, 400 shares bought at 208 rupees per share. The 6-month view is being sought. Ajit, on the charts, how does it look?
So Alex, in fact, if you see that in the recent market correction, pharma and defensive, they are doing pretty well, the healthcare space. But SMS, on the other hand, is still struggling below its major averages. So indications are in the favor that we might see some rebound or recovery due to the oversold position. But comparatively, it's a weaker structure, and since he has bought it at the lower end, means close around 208, and he's still in the profits. I would recommend him to switch the position to Glenmark, Sun Pharma, or Lupin from SMS.
All right, so that's the perspective on SMS Pharma. We've got Preetham from Bengaluru who's asking about Hyundai Motor, bought 90 shares at a price of 1,813. And this is a stock that has not done incredibly well since listing. It is trading below the buy price at this juncture and below 1,800. For that matter, up about 1/3% in trade today. Is down about 8.3 as you can see from the listing day. Saurabh, on the fundamentals, would you hold on to this?
Fundamentally, if you look at the automobile sector earlier, there was expectation that the car sales will grow in the high single digit. But after the first half and the recent numbers, it is quite evident that the growth will be sub 5% only. So that is for the whole industry, and that is why we are seeing pressure coming in the Hyundai India also. Hyundai Motors. The SUV segment is growing, but yes, there is a good amount of pressure on the other cars, the other segments. So, in my sense, I think it is better to take money off the table. It is. I think one should wait while things get settled down. After the COVID, we saw a good amount of double-digit growth coming in the automobiles companies growth. But now I think it is actually tapering off. So my sense is better to get out.
All right, we've got several questions on the fundamentals. I'm going to try and take a question on the technicals as well. And we've got a couple of questions, in fact, one from Karthik, another from Nick about Reliance Industries. Karthik is holding 20 shares at an average price of 1,426. Should he add more at the current juncture? It's not trading too far, Ajit, from the 52-week low, which is around that 1,200 mark. It's trading at just above at 1,219 or thereabouts. Would you buy more at this juncture or wait?
So Alex, first a disclosure that we have recommended to our clients to invest in Reliance Industries of late, and we are eyeing a new high in next 12 to 14 months. And yes, the stock looks extremely oversold from the short-term trading perspective also. We have multiple supports around this 1150, 1170 zone. So we expect maybe time-wise, we may see further correction for a week or two, but eventually we expect the stock to recover strongly. 1270, 1320 is going to be the first area of hurdle, and then 1440 and the new high. So it's going to be a gradual journey, but yes, you can add if your time horizon is over a year.
Okay, add if your time horizon is over a year on Reliance Industries, one of the underperformers on the benchmark Nifty 50 this year, has had quite a torrid time since August of this year, in fact. We've got A. Mohan calling us from Telangana. Morning, Mohan. How can we help you today?
Thank you. Oh, very nice, very nice. How are you, sir?
Very well, sir. How are you?
Okay, very nice, sir. Doing well.
Okay, how can we help you today?
Sir, I am having one query that I possessed 200 Vedanta shares.
Okay.
So now it is going to demerge the metals, no?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's why So I bought it at the rate of 521. So shall I keep it or sell or remain up to that this demerger?
Understood. So you bought at 521. You want to know what the implications are for you, the shareholder, on account of this demerger that is planned. It's actually going to break into multiple companies. There's of course going to be Vedanta Limited, there's going to be Vedanta Aluminium Metal, Vedanta Oil and Gas, Vedanta Iron and Steel, and Vedanta Power. And it's going to split into 5 companies. December 20th was a proposed demerger scheme. These are revisions that were proposed on that scheme. It has decided, of course, to retain its base metals company within Vedanta Limited. So a question to Saurabh. Saurabh, of course, you're aware of all of this in terms of the developments that have taken place. What is the advice to people that are currently holding Vedanta and maybe those that are contemplating buying into the company? A. Mohan, who's just called us, has bought at levels of 521, so he's lost a little bit of ground. Should he hold on?
Normally, what happens when such demerger is announced, normally value unlocking happens for the shareholders because different businesses get settled at the different valuation. But considering the fact that the global climate is not looking very good from the China perspective, also the stimulus which was expected and the growth which was expected is actually not happening. So that is putting a lot of pressure on all the commodity prices. So in that sense, if I look at the what is happening in the global climate. So in that sense, I would not recommend to put money on the metal stocks. If you want to invest for the long term, this demerger will surely benefit you, but you have to have investment horizon of more than 2-3 years.
All right, hold on. So let me clarify. You're saying if you have a long enough time frame, you hold on?
Yeah, I'm saying if you have a time horizon of 2 to 3 years, then you stay put. Otherwise, I think it is better to get off.
Okay. And by the way, Mohan, you're going to receive 1 share each in the newly formed companies for every 1 share held in Vedanta Limited currently. That is the scheme of demerger that has been announced by the company. We've got our next caller, Rajiv Kumar, who's calling us from Trivandrum. Rajiv, good morning, and how can we help you today?
Good morning. I'm holding, I bought 140 shares of Shukra Pharma.
Okay.
At the rate of 62.33.
Okay. I see that this is a BSE listed company. How did you hear about this, Rajiv?
Yeah, it is BSE listed.
Yeah, how did you hear about this?
So it accidentally came into my radar.
Okay.
Yeah.
Accidentally, you're saying that it accidentally came into your radar?
Yeah, it is an accidental.
Okay. How did this accident take place?
I bought it within, I think, within 6 months.
Within 6 months, okay. So you were looking at the screen one day and you saw this company, Shukra Pharmaceuticals. It sounded like a good company to invest in and you bought. Is that it?
Yeah.
It's worked out very well for you, Rajiv. You're making double the amount that you invested in.
So can I hold or sell that money?
That's an interest. Do you need the money right now, Rajiv?
Yeah.
Do you need the money right now?
No.
You don't
I can hold up to 2 years.
You can hold. Okay.
No.
Okay. All right. So it's a good problem to have. Ajit, no sellers in the stock seemingly right now. It's up 5% as we speak at close to 130. Is making a decent profit. Should he hold is a question. I hope that you have information on the stock.
So Alex, usually, such kind of stocks usually doesn't come on my radar, but and especially for this stock, if you'll see the price action last several years, it moves almost like, in a very volatile manner, means multiple occasions you will see that the stock, inching towards 200 plus zone and then again slipping towards 20, 40, 45, 60 zone. So fortunately, he bought it at the lower end of this, range, and now the stock has been inching higher. So my recommendation is, since we are not sure of this stock, considering that we usually trade in circuit filter, of late we have started seeing some volumes, decent volumes rather. So last day's low should be his stop loss, and he can continue to trail his stop losses on rise. So maybe close to around 160, 170 area in case if it gets the opportunity. definitely is a good price to lock in profit and exit.
Okay. All right. Make sure you read up about the company as well. And the advice, of course, is to exit. And you're making quite a bit of money, so it shouldn't be a problem. Always a good thing to exit when you have more money that gets into your bank at the end of that trade. The next question is on Swiggy. And we've got Teja from Hyderabad who's asking this. He's bought 100 shares at a price of 560, losing a little bit of ground. The stock is currently, just about there, right? 559 or thereabouts. In fact, when he posted this yesterday, and that was the closing price at that point, right? So it's gained a bit in trade today as well. Sort of on the fundamentals, would you hold on to this? Would you add more at this juncture?
Fundamentally, I think the business is, people are investing in Swiggy, looking at the Zomato, what has happened in the Zomato. The space is growing. The online delivery business is getting profitable at the EBITDA level, also for the Swiggy, and for the Zomato now it is a profitable business. So in that sense, I think there is a good amount of market which is left for them to grow. So in that sense, I think it can be a good hold for the long term.
Okay, so it can be, but would you add more at this point?
I think it is better to add on declines.
Add on declines. All right, add on declines is the call on Swiggy. Hopefully that helps you. Ramesh from Bengaluru is calling us on an interesting stock in the railway space. Ramesh, morning. What stock? RVNL is the name of the stock that you want to know about. And you bought at levels of 567, elevated levels. Why did you buy at that level?
No, it was like, the 52-week high was around 647, right?
Yes.
So I thought it has dipped a bit and then it's a good thing to buy.
Okay, but did you buy based on the fundamentals or did you buy based on the price action?
No, I bought it based on the price, thing.
Okay, and so you were looking therefore to hold for a lesser amount of time, possibly less than a year, is that right?
Yeah, I was always a short-term player.
Short-term player, okay. And so therefore, if you were to be asked to extend your time horizon, would you be okay with that, Ramesh?
Yeah, that's what I have to do now, now, because I can't, right now, possibly I'm around 2.5 lakhs down.
Yes, in fact, it's more than that. It's 2.85, apologies.
Yeah, 2.85, something like that.
Yeah.
So I just don't want to make
exit at a loss. Yeah. So let me also clarify. Do you have a long-term portfolio of stocks as well, Ramesh?
Yeah, I do have for Eco Energy.
Sure. Okay.
Not Eco. Some Eco Energy related. That one I have.
Yeah.
And I have Delta Corp.
Okay.
And have Hindustan Motors.
Okay.
For long term.
Okay. So generally the advice is to have 15 to 20 stocks in your long-term portfolio and use a portion of that to trade as you've done in RVNL. But let me get you a specific view on RVNL as well. Ajit Mishra, I'm coming to you on this one. On the technicals, would you hold on to this? A significant loss right now.
Yeah, true, Alex. And the picture is not different to what we are seeing in the other PSUs also. Like after brief recovery, again, we are seeing that most of the PSUs name they are struggling. The PSE index is in fact indicating possibility of further cuts in days to come. So RVNL particularly, we are trading at the long-term averages close to around 420 is what we have the major 200 days of exponential moving average placed. Last time also we've recovered from this area. So considering that there's a possibility that the stock might again witness a rebound, I would recommend him maintaining at least stop for partial of its position, if not complete, around 400 levels. In case if it breaks 400, definitely it should liquidate partially position, because the stock might then maybe inch toward 350 or maybe lower. So, and in case of recovery, we have multiple resistances to cross, first at 440 and then 460. So as of now, indications are in the favor. There's a possibility that the stock might break this 400 support area and inch toward 350.
Okay, all right. So that's a view on RVNL. Hopefully that answers your question. And my wish for the new year for you is that you recover some of your losses. Let's slip into a very quick break. Gentlemen, we'll be back on the other side to take more questions. Viewers, do stay tuned. We'll be back before you know it.
Do you really know the company you invest in? What's the picture behind presentations and claims? Is the outlook as rosy as the company claims? Know your company, powered by NDTV Profit's research, shines a light on the biggest stock market movers. Know your company at 11:30 a.m. Monday through Friday, only on NDTV Profit.
We set you up for the day's trade. 30 calls before the markets open on NDTV Profit.
Jubilant Food above a 600 level on Friday.
Wipro can be first trade to buy
all commodities, but in that Vedanta looks good.
Our experts give you the top stock ideas to prepare you for the day.
ICICI Lombard stocks hit the first target. It has given a very good momentum with good volume.
Don't miss the chance to make the right moves. Only on NDTV Profit, where winners are made before the bell rings.
When the whole day passes like a blur, the news just whizzes past, and you're trying to stay informed. It is our job to bring you news that truly matters. At Profit 360, we cut through the clutter, the Wall Street deals, finance and policy news that could shape your tomorrow. The newsmakers, the trendsetters, and the innovators. In 30 minutes, we've got you covered. So stay ahead, stay informed, and stay profitable with Profit 360.
Headlines you start your day with. What matters worldwide is now in the palm of your hands. Get ready to seize the day and maximize your financial potential. Stay ahead of the curve with all you need to know on NDTV Profit.
When the whole day passes like a blur, the news just whizzes past, and you're trying to stay informed. It is our job to bring you news that truly matters. At Profit 360, we cut through the clutter, the Wall Street deals, finance and policy news that could shape your tomorrow. The newsmakers, the trendsetters, and the innovators. In 30 minutes, we've got you covered. So stay ahead, stay informed, and stay profitable with Profit 360.
Welcome back. You're watching Ask Profit, a show where we answer all your stock-related queries, whether they're fundamental or technical. Viewers who are just tuning in, you can ask all your stock-related queries on the number that is flashing on your screen. You can either call us or WhatsApp us. I think we have our next caller patched in. Naveen from Vizag is calling in. Naveen, thanks for calling in. How can we help you?
Hi, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine. Thanks for asking.
Yeah.
So I have 10 shares of HDFC Bank at 1520 level.
Okay.
In my long-term portfolio. But now I want to switch it to Indigo Aviation for the long term. So I want to sell off this HDFC Bank and I want to buy the Indigo for more than 5-6 years, I can say. In fact, 10 years also.
Okay.
So just want to give you on for the same.
Okay. Naveen, I just want to understand, why do you want to do that? Have you studied HDFC Bank as well as Indigo?
So the reason is the potential. I am just saying the market capital of HDFC is currently 14 lakh crore. The ideal potential for it, let's say for double or triple, the possibility is slightly lesser than the time horizon that I was looking at. And whereas the Indigo Aviation, considering the growth that we have potential we are seeing, there is a high chance the growth will be on a better side. So that's the reason.
All right. I'll take your question with Saurabh. Saurabh, do you think this is the right strategy to adopt?
Can you please repeat his query because I was not able to listen properly?
Right. So he's saying that he's holding 10 shares of HDFC Bank at 1500 and now he wants to switch to Interglobe Aviation. Is that the right strategy to adopt for a long-term perspective?
See, both the stocks are looking quite good, but if you look on the valuation matrices, HDFC Bank looks quite stronger to me. A lot of the consolidation after the merger has already happened, and banking sector per se is looking good for the next 2-3 years. With respect to the aviation industry, yes, the company is able to garner more share, and there is more traffic. I mean, the tourism sector and the people flying for their various needs is growing up, but on the valuation side, it's a very expensive stock trading at 90 times to book value, and the valuations are very, very on the higher side. So there is nothing much left on the table in terms of the expectation of any kind of growth in the stock price. So I would suggest better to stick with the HDFC Bank and avoid switching.
Stick with HDFC Bank is the call. It's not trading too far away from its all-time highs at this juncture, but still potential. A lot of people have pointed out the potential going forward. Prakash from Chennai has got the next question. What is the strategy that will give the best possible returns? Buying ITC now or post demerger? Incidentally, ITC, the record date for the demerger is the 1st of January and the ex-date is the 6th of January. So if you want as an ITC shareholder to receive shares of the demerged entity, you will have to buy before the 1st of the new year. Saurabh, I'll come to you on the question here. Would you buy just one of the two or both?
I think you can go for any of the case. If you want to have the demerged entity, I think it is better to take position before the date. I think 40% of the business is getting divested, and 60% will remain with the ITC only. So it's not that hotel full hotel business is getting demerged. So you have to take a call. I mean, you can go both ways.
Okay, all right, you can go both ways, but I mean, it's a buy for you on ITC, right? In general.
In general, it's a buy. It's a portfolio stock.
It's a portfolio stock. All right. Jain Irrigation is the next counter, and we've got a call from Venugopal, who's calling us from Tamil Nadu. He's holding 200 shares at a price of 20 rupees. So it's a 3-bagger for him at least, heading towards being a 4-bagger. Venugopal, congratulations on the acquisition. What were you thinking when you bought it? Hi, can you hear me, Venugopal?
Hello. Yeah, I hear you.
Good morning, and thanks so much for calling us. What was the thinking when you bought Jain Irrigation?
Jain Irrigation, I bought at the range of 20 rupees at the Corona time.
Right.
Actually.
Okay. And what stood out to the... so when you bought the company, something must have struck you, right? You must have thought about why this stock is available at 20 rupees.
Yeah, I bought at the PE levels.
Okay.
According to the PE level.
Right.
PE level at that time it's around 15, I think.
Okay.
That's why I bought the shares.
Okay.
Around 400 shares. But I sold it 200 shares at the level of 40 rupees, I think.
Okay.
Now I'm holding 200 shares. Can I hold or...
And what is the time frame that you have? You've already held from COVID-19, which is quite a while from the point that you bought it. Are you in a hurry to sell, Venugopal?
No, not at the time.
Okay.
Can I add some shares?
Okay, can you add? So Saurabh, I'm going to come to you on the fundamentals because he's bought based on the valuation parameters that he saw at COVID lows, 20 rupees, quite an attractive buy price if you look at the kind of movement that you've seen in the share price. Would you buy more at the current juncture or would you exit at this point?
Recommend to buy, certainly. If you look at the company is unable to make any profits. It's working on a very thin margin, and there is a huge amount of interest outgo. In the latest quarter, there was a negative bottom line. If you look at the promoter holding, it is less than 25-26%, and half of it is pledged. While he has made money, I think I would recommend him to book profits from the table and switch elsewhere.
So switch elsewhere is what Saurabh is saying. So basically it's a sell on Jain Irrigation. We have our next caller, Shweta from Hyderabad is calling in. Shweta, thanks for calling in. How can we help you?
Hi, good morning, Mahima, and good morning, Alex.
Yeah, good morning.
I wish you very happy New Year in advance.
Wishing you the same, Shweta.
Thanks so much, Shweta.
Yeah, my question is regarding Kaynes Technology.
Okay.
I don't have any shares. I would like to take the entry. I want to know what is the exact level to take the entry for a 1 year view.
1 year view. So you want a technical view on this, I believe.
Yeah, levels, including the levels and stop loss.
All right. Ajit, I'll come to you on this one. How does Kaynes look on charts?
So, it's a steady uptrend that the stock has been experiencing for the last several years. And off late, after making a new high, we are seeing a bit of a profit taking. And since she's planning to invest for a long-term time horizon, I feel that there's a possibility that the stock might retrace closer to around 65, 6,400. That would be the good area to accumulate, considering the past trend also that the stock has been consistently holding on the weekly time frame, this 20 EMA, 30 EMA. So around 64, 6,500 is something that she can start accumulating. And for this entire, position, she should maintain a stop at 5,600. Since she has asked for stop loss also, so 5,600 should be the area where, in the past we have seen multiple supports on weekly and monthly time horizon. So around that area, in case if it slips below this mark, then possibility of trend reversing from positive to sideways is much higher.
All right. Vodafone Idea is the next count that we're talking about, and we've got a considerable amount of shares that have been bought by Adi, who's writing in from Bengaluru, and bought 2 lakh shares at a price of 15 rupees. Lost considerable amount of value over the course of the time that he's held it. The stock is currently trading at 7.88 and it's up about 5.5% today because of a positive development. It has in fact come to light that the government of India has waived financial bank guarantees for a spectrum acquired in past decades, and the waiver is applicable for the bank guarantees that were acquired between 2012 and 2021, which is subject to certain terms and conditions. So this is part of positive news flow that has come through for the company, and it has gained in fact 5.5%. Now, I'm not really sure what the thinking was when he bought it, but a lot of people did buy at that level, at that price. He's got only a 6-month time horizon, and so from that perspective, Ajit, I'm coming back to you. Should he exit on rise, and what are the kind of levels that he should look at? He's in considerable loss right now.
So true, Alex. So in fact, if you see that you have rightly mentioned that mostly people have invested around the QIP time, also around 11 was the level, if I'm not wrong, and the stock has been trading below that mark as well. And though there are multiple occasions that the stock made an attempt of recovery, but again, every time it reaches to this 9.5 area, we see some bit of a profit taking again emerging in. So my strategy would be to utilize any recovery towards 11 or 12 area to exit this, or maybe you can look to switch to Bharti Airtel even at current levels also if your time horizon is over a year.
So that's the view coming in on Vodafone Idea. I think, Alex, it's very important for people to understand that, at the end of the day, Vodafone Idea is a penny stock, and 2 lakhs is a significant amount of shares to buy at, 15 levels, and now sitting on such a significant loss.
So it's an interesting perspective because people don't have limits that they put on individual stocks as part of their portfolio.
Correct.
And I think that is the biggest mistake that people make. If you look at even mutual funds, of course, fund managers complain about this, but most mutual fund schemes, fund managers are forced to take a 10% limit on the upside per security. Anyway, we have, we'll come back to that. We've got a listing that took place, and what a listing it was for SMS Pharma. It is up about 44% right now, off the high point of the day. We spoke with Swapnil Shah, who is director at the company, and asked him about the company's target for the next couple of years. Here's what he had to say.
As I've been discussing about, expanding our base in the US, largely on the injectable side, and then other product acquisitions that we probably want to do at some point of time. So the growth will be driven largely on these 2 accounts, as well as our CDMO, CMO business presence that we have in the US. So that will continue to expand both on the government as well as controlled substance side. And we have about 51 products in our pipeline that will soon get approved, or maybe some of them will get filed. So that will continue to drive our growth in next 2 years time frame as we speak.
Right, that was the management of SMS Pharma who did tell us as to what the future aspects of company look like. And there you go, stellar listing on the bourses for the company. Couple of names listed on the bourses, but this one really stood out, Alex, actually.
And the other one that, so we talked about the first one, which didn't do particularly well. That was Kararo. But the other, Ventive, is also doing reasonably well. But just to complete that point, because we were making it, mutual fund managers are forced to have an exposure of 10% per security in most of the schemes that they operate in. And what that does, it's very interesting, because if you have a fundamental portfolio and you have 10% and you maintain that limit, what is the worst that can happen? You lose 10% of your portfolio. But when you have a large amount of money that is stuck in one particular security, 2 lakhs of Vodafone Idea, of course you can have absolutely stupendous gains, but then what is the potential for loss? So think about the kind of risk reward that you can potentially have, and if you have an idea for the entire portfolio, which is what you should have, even if it is aggressive at 15 to 17%, you can construct a portfolio that is not going to lose as much value. To that end, let's go to the next caller.
Yeah, we have our next caller. Surendra from Karnataka is calling in. Surendra, thanks for calling in. How can we help you?
I have this ZF commercial share. I bought it around 11,590.
Okay.
I have around 11 shares.
Okay.
So my target is around 12,726.
Okay.
So is it correct? Should I hold it, or so what I supposed to do here? So.
All right. Is this target technical based target, or have you studied the company?
Kind of technical based, because the next resistance is at 12,726.
Got it. Got it. Ajit, I'll come to you on this one quickly. How does ZF commercial look on charts?
After this sharp correction, on the weekly charts, we are currently hovering around the major averages. Once we break this first barrier around 12,100 mark, then yes, what the target which he is anticipating close to around 12,700 mark is something that the stock might test. But at the same time, considering that the trend has not reversed yet, they should be careful, and 11,500 should be his strict stop loss in case if the trend reverses.
Okay. All right, let's take the next caller. We've got Udayan Bhatt, who's calling us from Ahmedabad, and he's got Ashok Leyland at what I think is an attractive price. Let's pull up the chart and see what it's currently trading. What a beautiful acquisition that is. Udayan, welcome and good morning. Thanks so much for calling us. How can we help you today?
Sir, good morning, and this is Udayan Bhatt, a senior citizen from Ahmedabad. I'm indeed delighted to talk to you.
We are more delighted to speak to you, Udayan, because...
Actually, yes, sir, may I put my queries to you?
Of course, please go ahead.
Yes. Actually, I was holding 2,500 shares of Ashok Leyland around 2000 in the year 2011. Okay. Against that, I got 2,500 as bonus shares. Out of that, now presently, I am holding 2,000 shares of Ashok Leyland. Okay. So, from 262 to 221 today it has reached. It has gone down. I need to know from your side, sir, what should I do?
Okay.
Because my son is in pressing necessity of money. So, till how much I must wait? What is your kind advice to me?
Okay. So, Udayan, am I understanding correctly when you say that you're in need of the money? You need to use the money right now?
My mom, I want to help my son who is in Mumbai.
Okay, understood. Okay, so let me take your question. So you bought it on the fundamentals. This is part of your portfolio, right, Udayan? You have other shares as well.
True.
Okay. So let me go to Ajit on this then, because it is a relatively short-term question. He's held for a long time. The acquisition price is 50 rupees because the acquisition took place way back when, right? More than 15 years back or thereabouts. What levels should he look at to exit at this point, Ajit?
So Alex, he clearly mentioned that he requires this money. So I feel that it's not important whether he should see any level or not, considering that the short-term volatility might continue within the auto space also. Though Ashok Leyland is doing comparatively better, and below 215, this may also witness a decline towards 205. But that's not significant. I feel that since he requires the money, he can definitely book some profit. And in case, at the lower end, in case if it again slips to around 200, 190 zone, he may re-enter.
All right, so that's the view coming in on Ashok Leyland. The next query is from Soma Shekhar, who's from Hyderabad. Now he's probably holding 1,000 shares of Jio Finance, and this is bought at the levels of 343, and he wants to know whether he should keep holding them or sell them. Saurabh, I'll come to you on this one. How does Jio Finance look to you fundamentally?
Fundamentally, I think the company has set up the online portal. The companies, will be doing all kind of business, all kind of activity, mutual fund activity. They have a tie-up with the Blackstone. They will be lending to for the SMEs, for the personal loans and all. All the activity will happen through the digital mode, and the company is yet to take off, yet to make a takeoff. While from the long-term perspective, I think it is a good stock to hold. From the short term, it is very difficult to say. I think if you have a horizon for the next 3 to 5 years, it is a hold for me.
If you have a long-term time horizon, then it's a hold on Jio Financial Services. Brajesh from Sioni in Madhya Pradesh is asking about Kalyan Jewellers, which he's bought at a price of 403. He's looking for a 2-year time horizon, and it's an attractive buy price. He's been holding 100 shares and he's wondering what to do. Saurabh, on the fundamentals, should you add more? Should you hold? What's the perspective?
I think of late, what we are seeing on the market is that with the rise in the gold prices, the sales were languishing in the festive season also. So to my mind, the valuations are on the higher side, and maybe we would see some kind of the growth getting tapered off in the December quarter and in the quarters to follow. So I think it is better to wait for the quarterly earnings. And if you are making some money money, then I think it is better to take off the table. My sense is better to book profits.
All right, book profits for Kalyan Jewellers is the view coming in from Saurabh. We have our next caller, Krupesh from Karnataka is calling in. Krupesh, thanks for calling in. How can we help you?
Thanks for receiving my call. My name is Krupesh. I'm from Karnataka.
Okay.
My query is, I bought a share, HL share, at the rate of 4364.
Okay.
So currently it is running at 4199, something like that.
Okay.
So currently I'm in a loss of around 14 to 15k. So whether shall I hold it or sell it? I just wanted to know that information.
Okay. What was the thought process behind buying HAL, and what is the kind of time horizon that you can hold the shares for?
Yeah. So I just bought it according to fundamentals, and I'm holding it. I kept it for a longer time. I don't have any short-term decision of selling. Yeah.
All right. Saurabh, I'll come to you on this one. HAL fundamentally, how does it look?
See, while the fundamentals look strong, but it is the valuation which is on the higher side. The stocks, all the defense stocks got re-rated in the last 2-3 years, very highly re-rated, and now we are seeing some kind of a moderation in the valuation. And if you look at the operating numbers, also there is no. I think there is in some cases there is a degrowth also, which is not justifying the high valuation. In the last 6 months, the stock is down by 20%. If you are having a long-term perspective, then you must have a perspective from next 3 to 5 years, and then only you can hold on to it. Otherwise, you may see further selling with the correction in the markets.
All right, so that's the view on HAL. We've got Maheshwar from Hyderabad who's calling us, asking about Grindwell, I believe. Grindwell Norton, which he's bought at levels of 350. Hi Maheshwar, thanks so much for calling us. How can we help you today?
Yeah, I brought it for I'm keeping it for the last 5 years.
Okay.
It touched at nearly 3,000 rupees.
Yes.
And it came back to 1,900 again.
Yes. So you want to know whether
Shall
to
I hold it or book some profits?
Okay. Maheshwar, are you in need of funds right now?
No, I'm not in need because I'm holding this stock for the last 6 years or so.
Yeah. And so, so you're concerned.
Is there any scope for touching again 3,000 rupees? That is my question.
Okay, so that depends, Maheshwar, on the time horizon that you have. So since you held...
I can keep it for a long time.
Got it.
I'm already holding it for the last 6 years.
Exactly. That was the point that I was going to make. Since you've held it for so long, I'm guessing you're not in a rush to sell it. And so from that perspective, let me go to Saurabh on the fundamentals. Grindwell Norton, what's the view here? If you've lost notional value, I mean, I guess a lot of stocks have hit all-time highs and come off from that point. Would you hold on at at the current levels? If you bought at levels of 350, which is an amazing acquisition price, Saurabh.
Yeah, I mean, it is a very good acquisition price. He's holding for 6 months. I think he can hold for another 3 to 5 years. So in that sense, I think manufacturing sector is likely to shine going forward. And so the company largely makes aggressive, and the manufacturing sector when shines, the company also will also make good growth. It is only because of the valuation that the stock has corrected. Over a period of time, I think you will see the company again surpassing its 52-week highs. So in that sense, I think there is a hold for next 3 to 5 years.
All right, so that's the view coming in on Grindwell Norton. We have our next query on Mamta Machinery, which was recently listed, and it did have a decent, not stellar, but decent listing, as compared to the kind of subscription it had. Rahul Kaushik is writing in, and he wants to know whether he should continue to hold the shares, and he wants to know that he should keep holding them or sell them and book profits. Saurabh, I'll come to you on this one. Do you have coverage on this particular counter?
Won't be able to comment on it.
All right. Okay. I don't think that we have enough on charts to come to you, Ajit. So I'll take the next query. The next query is on Satin Creditcare. Do we have the viewer in Pawan? Yes.
Yeah, we don't have the buy price.
Yeah, we don't have the buy price. So he wants to know what should be done with Satin Creditcare. His average buying price is 478.
No, I don't think that's right.
Yeah, I don't think that's right, because currently the stock is trading at 145, and he's bought around 100 in quantity, and he's bought this 1 year, 5 years back.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's bought it 5 years back and bought it at the levels of 478, but the stock has come down to 145 now. I believe that a fundamental view on this will make sense. Saurabh, I'll come to you on this one. Do you think he should continue to hold this or book losses at the moment?
I think quite a lot of negatives have already been discounted in the stock prices. There is a huge rise in the delinquency rate for the microfinance lenders, and that is why we are seeing good amount of selling coming in the stock. On the valuation side, it is now trading at a half times book value. So I think if things gets better, then we may see the stock will get bottom out. Already he has lost so much money. I would not recommend to add more of this stock, but at the same time I would recommend him to wait at least for the December quarter earning and wait for the management guidance. In case management fail to cheer the market, then it will be the time to sell. Otherwise, go hold for long.
Hold is a call on Satin Creditcare, not a stock that has returned a lot. But it's time for the rapid fire round on this show. This is where we throw as many questions as possible at our two experts over the course of 2 minutes and have them answer them. So to that end, let me start it off with a question on Manappuram for the short term. What are the targets and stop loss that you would have? This is a question from Kumar. Ajit, on the charts, what would you say?
So Manappuram, Alex, we have seen a decent recovery after the sharp meltdown from 225 to 135, and the stock has recently formed a fresh base.
Sorry, a quick answer. This is rapid fire.
Right. So in that case, 182 should be a strict stop loss, and 205 to 10 that should be a target zone.
Okay.
All right. BHEL is the next counter. Should the person keep holding it or exit? Give idea. Ajit, I'll stick with you for this one.
BHEL is an exit, Mahima, considering that we are seeing fresh decline, and decline below 229 may result in further dip towards 210.
Okay. Zomato bought at levels of 192. Would you hold for the long term, or actually would you sell and purchase Gensol Engineering is the question, Saurabh. Abhishek wants to know.
Hold Zomato, avoid Gensol.
Okay.
All right. Karthikeyan wants to know whether HCL Tech bought at an average price of 1050. Should he hold or book profit? Ajit, this is for you.
Definitely hold. It's an outperformer within the IT pack, so he should definitely hold.
Okay, Sun Pharma, and this is coming back to you, Ajit. Sun Pharma, Gul wants to know whether it can be bought right now for a period of 1 year.
Certainly, we can buy with 1800 as a stop loss and 1950 to 1980 as a position target.
All right, Paytm is the next counter, bought when IPO came in. Saurabh, should he keep holding it from long term?
Hold.
Okay, M&M bought at 3,110. Anil wants to know, would you hold on to this or not? Saurabh?
Hold.
All right. Bharatwaj from Vizag is writing in and he wants to know as to what should be the first pick for his portfolio. Saurabh, I'll stick with you for this one.
First pick, I would recommend Natco Pharma.
Okay, Natco Pharma. We really held the gun to your head this time, Saurabh. Out of all the stocks that were available, you chose one. All right, on that note, thank you so much for joining in, gentlemen. Ajit, Saurabh, pleasure having you on the program. And that brings us to the end of this edition of Ask Profit. It's been an absolute pleasure bringing it to you from Mahima and myself and the team that put the show together. Thank you so much for watching. Do stay tuned. Lots more coming up on NDTV Profit.
Do you really know the company you invest in? What's the picture behind presentations and claims? Is the outlook as rosy as the company claims? Know Your Company, powered by NDTV Profits Research, shines a light on the biggest stock market movers. Know Your Company at 11:30 a.m. Monday through Friday, only on NDTV Profit.
We set you up for the day's trade. 30 calls before the markets open on NDTV Profit.
Jubilant Food above a 600 level on Friday.
Wipro can be first trade to buy
all commodities, but in that Vedanta looks good.
Our experts give you the top stock ideas to prepare you for the day.
ICICI Lombard stocks hit the first target. It has given a very good momentum with good volume.
Don't miss the chance to make the right moves. Only on NDTV Profit, where winners are made before the bell rings.
When the whole day passes like a blur, the news just whizzes past, and you're trying to stay informed. It is our job to bring you news that truly matters. At Profit 360, we cut through the clutter, the Wall Street deals, finance and policy news that could shape your tomorrow. The newsmakers, the trendsetters, and the innovators. In 30 minutes, we've got you covered. So stay ahead, stay informed, and stay profitable with Profit 360.
Headlines you start your day with. What matters worldwide is now in the palm of your hands. Get ready to seize the day and maximize your financial potential. Stay ahead of the curve with all you need to know on NDTV Profit.
When the whole day passes like a blur, the news just whizzes past, and you're trying to stay informed. It is our job to bring you news that truly matters. At Profit 360, we cut through the clutter, the Wall Street deals, finance and policy news that could shape your tomorrow. The newsmakers, the trendsetters, and the innovators. In 30 minutes, we've got you covered. So stay ahead, stay informed, and stay profitable with Profit 360.
Headlines you start your day with. What matters worldwide is now in the palm of your hands. Get ready to seize the day and maximize your financial potential. Stay ahead of the curve with all you need to know on NDTV Profit.
Well,
Hello and welcome to KYC, a brand new show at NDTV Profit. And in this fast-paced world of stock market, investors are bombarded with information, but what they often lack is deep, comprehensive understanding of the companies and they invest in. Know Your Company is a show designed to give you regular investors some powerful, actionable insights into fundamentals of a single NSE-listed company every day. And today we are going to talk about Ajmera Realty. Now, this particular real estate company has done very well through the course of the last 1 year. It does provide residential and rented commercial and properties as well as part of its profile. And besides that, it is focused on premium developments in the luxury and the mid-luxury space. Well, for anyone who lives in Mumbai, they are aware of this particular brand in realty, that's Ajmera Realty. Besides that, they also operate in Ahmedabad, Bengaluru, and as well they have an international project going on in Bahrain too. Now, this is as far as what the company is doing at the moment. The portfolio has seen about 20 million square feet of projects being completed. Besides that, about 1.1 million square feet of projects which are ongoing at the moment. And we do have about another 1.7 million square feet where the potential launches on the cards, along with the fact that about 11.1 million square feet is what entails in future development potential. Now, we're going to talk about all these factors a little bit later on as far as the management is concerned. But that said, let's also take a look at how the company has done so far. And as usual, what we try to do is essentially rate all these companies on the key areas that would include something like your income statement. But in this case, of course, we're working off with key operational metrics as well, since the real estate sector has a lot in terms of your pre-sales too. But we'll talk about the balance sheet as along with cash flows, along with your return ratios too, shareholding pattern, along with street credentials and dividend payouts. But let's get in my colleague Anushi, who will also help us elucidate further as to how this particular company has done so far. So Anushi, thanks for joining in. Let's start off with the key operational metrics, because that perhaps is the most important one in terms of judging a real estate company.
Absolutely, Agam. So for the key operational metrics, before we talk about the income statement and balance sheet and all that for a real estate company, what is the most important factor to consider is its pre-sales, the collections number, as that would be the indicator forward with what kind of revenues and how the company is doing financially. So if you look at the sales value for the company, we've seen a decent amount of growth between FY23-24 and H1 of this year. 842 CR was what was the sales pre-sales figure, that's the sales value, which has increased to 1,000 crore in FY24. If you look at H1 FY25 performance, they've clocked in about 18% of growth for the year. Very important to focus on the Q3 and Q4 trajectory of the company, as that is when the real estate sector in general is expected to be stronger. Collections, if we see, collections also have remained in FY23 and 24, have remained in a similar range, 532 crore, 570 CR, and in H1 FY25 we are almost looking at a 300 crore shy of mark in terms of your collections is concerned. In fact, in H1 FY25 we've seen about a 34% of growth in terms of collection number where that is concerned. Sales volume, now if we take the whole real estate industry in general, one common thing that we have seen in the first half of this year is that the sales volume number have seen a downtick. What was 2.44 lakh square feet in H1 FY25, this is the amount of volume that they've sold. It's seen about a 4% of a downtick. So again, the emphasis is on the future commentary of the company. We will be connecting with the management. So sales volume is definitely one indicator that we should be looking forward to. But as per the operational metrics, this is how the picture is building.
Right. So some very important metrics coming in focus. But let's talk about how this has already translated into your top line and your bottom line for Ajmera Realty so far. So if you consider the first half of this, financial year, you will see that there's a 51% growth in terms of your top line, and another 55% growth as far as your bottom line is concerned. Again, your EBITDA margins remain very healthy, well over 30%, 33% to be precise for first half of FY25. But moving on, if you consider the balance sheet, let's see how that's panned out too. So when it comes to the balance sheet, currently its net worth stands at around 865 odd crores. Its long-term debt and short-term debt taken together is a little over about 800 odd crores. So, that said, in terms of its cash in bank, that stands at around 116 crores. So its debt to equity, its net debt to equity is well below the mark of 1. And from what I understand, that the management has suggested that they want to keep it at around 0.8, and it's roundabout there. But that's as far as balance sheet is concerned. So overall, in terms of the third parameter too, we'll give it a thumbs up on the back of good operational metrics, a pretty steady growth as far as its top line, bottom line is concerned, along with operational performance, as well as its balance sheet, which looks good.